to getting, the first round bye, obviously what you guys wanted, and then you'll play on Sunday.
Yeah, as the season started to wind down and we saw where we stood in the RPI, we felt like we had a good chance at a top 16, which is a bye, and that's valuable, really valuable. It means you're home. It means you obviously you get to sit out the first round, and then gosh, as we made a little bit of a run here in the ACC tournament, the top 8 became a little bit more realistic, and we got that today, and that's just gravy.
How much does it kind of make things better after a tough day yesterday?
Yeah, listen, whether it's the ACC tournament or the NCAA tournament, only one team ends up happy. As well as we played, I think we played 3 teams that could be in the College Cup. Wake Forest, Notre Dame, Maryland, all 3 of them could be in the College Cup. Played our hearts out, played really, really well, and just came up a little bit short, and it stings, and we're all competitive, we're all disappointed, but we need to turn the page and get ready for trying to win the next trophy.
When you beat teams like Wake Forest and Notre Dame that could be in the College Cup, how much confidence does it give you, going into the NCAA tournament?
It gives you a lot. In particular, the way we did it. We won at Wake Forest. The Notre Dame game was a neutral, and when we played Maryland yesterday, it was in essence it was an away game. We were playing in front of 5,000 Maryland fans, so I felt like I was playing in College Park. So the games and environments that we've been playing in, I think, will be really helpful for the postseason.
How much do you know about the 2 teams that you might face in that second round?
Well, we played St. John's this year, earlier in the year, but it was very early. I have a lot of respect for both those programs. I know both those coaches. We'll have an opportunity to see them play. The NCAA rules allows that, so that's the nice thing about getting a bye. While they play, we get to watch a little bit and rest a little bit more and prepare.
How different of a team are you from the first time you played St. John's?
That time of year, around the time we played St. John's, we were like 1-3. We're a completely different team, in a lot of ways. And I would imagine that St. John's is a little bit different too. That was a tough game, but I would expect that they're probably better knowing their coach.
For those of us who didn't see the replays of how yesterday ended, have you had a chance to analyze that any further, or maybe explain to us kind of what happened on that key sequence?
Yeah, I won't talk about the refereeing. I think there was a couple things there, but Mullins, who's to me probably the best forward in the country for Maryland. He's big, he's strong, he's athletic, he's technical. He got isolated on one of our center backs, on Matt Brown, and it's one thing we wanted to avoid. So he got isolated, turned him, and no help came. And when help didn't come, he started running along the end line and put a ball across the face of the goal. And all sorts of bodies are in there flying through. Bad things happen, and Kevin McBride was trying to do the right thing, trying to be in the way and block the passing lane, and the ball came across very fast. He was facing the wrong way, and it happens,
Is there anything you say to Kevin after the game? Is it just one of those things?
He's a senior and he's a big boy. I really didn't say anything other than give him a pat on the back, and then later on the bus drive home, I walked to the back of the bus and I asked him if he was okay, and he said yeah. So we'll just get on with business.
A couple NCAA tournaments. This is probably the most competitive bracket you've seen.
The total field. I think in college soccer, if you make this field of 48, you're doing something right as a college soccer coach. It is tough from top to bottom. When I go through this, the field of 48, there's quality teams and there's no easy games. Just 5 years ago, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, there was always a handful of like brackets or games that you felt like were. There's nothing easy. All those teams are good. All those teams are capable on a given day, and I think everybody's got to be ready.
And it's a rare opportunity also on Sunday, a doubleheader between the men and the women play. How great is it for the soccer program at UVA for this?
Yeah, I think whenever we have those doubleheaders during the regular season, the crowds are good. So it just happens to work out that way with the NCAA tournament that we're going to have a doubleheader. Hopefully the weather cooperates, and we get good crowds for both games.
Coming off a week in which you beat the top team in the country, what do you feel this team is capable of heading into the tournament?
I feel we're capable of getting to the College Cup, and once you get there, you're among the elite, and anything can happen, and you focus and you try to take care of business. But this team proved to me in winning at Wake Forest, in getting the better of Notre Dame, and that game yesterday could have gone either way with Maryland. And doing it all on the road, or at least neutral, I think we've proven to ourselves, we got a lot of confidence in ourselves moving forward. We just got to recover. The one positive thing, which doesn't usually happen when you play 3 games in 5 days, we came out relatively injury-free. I mean, we don't have anybody out, as far as I know right now, which is very rare when you play that many games in just 5 days.
And with that Notre Dame game, you've shown some resiliency in games earlier this season with NC State specifically. Getting down against a team like Notre Dame, what did you learn about the quality of your team?
Yeah, 2 things. I mean, one is I think that, even the Notre Dame coach to me said to me after the game, that's one of the best fight backs we've seen in a long time. And we did the same thing at NC State. We almost pulled it off at Wake Forest during the regular season. You don't want to put yourselves in those situations, but we have a lot of spirit. It's young spirit. They're kind of fearless in a way. They don't really, I think we know we can score. Even in that Maryland game yesterday, if we had some more darn time in that game, we felt like we would score. The guys got themselves together. If we had another 5 or 10 minutes and they didn't score that goal with 2 minutes, I felt like we could have probably gotten a goal, because that's just how this group is. Just so happens there's only a couple of minutes left. But I never feel like with this group, and it's an attack-oriented team with some of the guys that we have, that they're fazed by being down, whether it's 1 goal or 2 goals.
And talk a little bit about Callie's performance as well over the past week and like this weekend.
Yeah, no, so he got his chance at the end of the regular season against Boston College. And it wasn't us just throwing Callie in there. I just don't operate that way. He has been doing well in training. I mean, that's how it works. And we keep an eye on those things. And he earned that opportunity to get that start against Providence and did well. I mean, in that not Providence, in the Boston College game, the last regular season game. And he pulled off a couple plays, one save in particular that I think saved us the game. The Boston College could have won that game. And then moving on from there, just his presence. The guy is huge and massive, and his wingspan and his ability to take crosses, whether it's long throws or corners or free kicks, it's just reassuring. And then the other piece, his kicking game. He's got a lot of range on his kicking game, whether it's goal kicks, whether it's punts. And when you're under a lot of pressure, especially late in games when you're up or you're trying just to relieve a little bit of pressure, when you have a guy who can kick the ball 60 or 70 yards, really helps.
And for this week, what do you have to do to take that next step into the NCAA tournament, 1 and done?
Yeah. I think we have to recover first. We need a couple days to recover, just physically and mentally a little bit, which we'll do. The one thing I'll say about kind of losing the way we did in particular, I think we have a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth. Those guys wanted to win that game bad. I mean, really bad. I mean, I could tell. And I think they have a little bit of bad taste in their mouth, a little unfinished business. So, I hope that plays a part into us getting ready for Sunday.
You guys all healthy, or usual mix and max?
I think I've been to the conference championship game 11 times in my 18 years. I think that's right. And I would say there's probably been only 3 occasions, and this is one of them, where we've come out with nobody injured for the rest of the season, because it's very tough to play 3 games in 5 days like that and not have somebody pull something or do something. So we were really lucky to come out of there with nobody not able to move on in the postseason.